Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you the way that I prepare this delicious and typical Dominican chimi. I don't think there is a Dominican in this planet that can resist this delight. I will show you how to prepare it in an easy and super delicious way. You want to know how I do it? Come and hazlo con su. The first thing we are going to do is we're going to season our meat. The ground beef comes in different grades. I am using 90-10 because it's what I had available, but I recommend an 80-20 because it's a higher percentage of fat, which will make the meat juicier. We are going to season with sofrito, with mashed garlic. I am using this new adobo that is a complete seasoning with achiote that I buy at Sam's, but if you do not have this, you can use the regular adobo or complete seasoning and an envelope of Koya Sazon for color. We are also using black pepper, soy sauce, beef bouillon. Then we will put on some gloves to incorporate all the seasonings with the meat, and also remember that the ingredients and amounts will be listed in the description box. After we finish incorporating all the seasonings, we will let the meat rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. During this time, we will be preparing the chimi sauce and the other ingredients. These are the traditional ingredients for the chimi sauce, but I always like to give it my own personal touch, and these will be the ingredients that we will be using. Let's start with the mayonnaise, ketchup, don't kill me, I don't know how much to say, Worcestershire sauce, who knows how to say this word, I don't. And the use of half an orange, but totally optional. It is my own personal touch, some yellow mustard, and a touch of a smoked liquid flavor, which gives this sauce an exquisite flavor. And once we have all the ingredients, we will mix it and then we will bottle it so we can use it later. I personally use this sauce for a lot of things, especially with the empanadas. It is absolutely delicious. And when you make this sauce, always make sure to make a lot because this will be the first thing that will be gone. This is absolutely delicious. The amounts that I use make enough to complete the full bottle of the sauce. Now we are going to prepare what we're putting on our chimi. There are some things that will be optional. I personally buy these bags of coleslaw, which is the cabbage with chopped carrots. Then I check it to make sure if there are big pieces, I will take them out. Then we will put enough water and 1 tablespoon of salt to soften the cabbage a little bit. Cabbage can be made 2 ways, raw or cooked. Traditionally, chimi is made with cooked cabbage. Then we're going to let this sit for a little bit while we prepare the rest of the ingredients. After this, we're going to follow by cutting the onions into very thin strips and put them also in vinegar. Enough vinegar to cover the onions, and then we will also add 1 teaspoon of salt. We will then continue by cutting the tomatoes. I am using a mandolin. If you are using one too, be extremely careful because these cuts super bad. I am also showing you the lettuce because I like the chimi with lettuce, which is totally optional. Here I also show you the bread that I buy. This is usually called bolillo in the US, but in DR we call it pan de agua. I buy them at Kroger because I love their bread, but you could buy them wherever you like. Now we'll start to form the patties for the chimi. I show you the bread so you can see why I make the patties this way. I basically use the bread as a model to know how big to make the patties. And this is how I set it up. If I use a cup for the measure, for the long bread I use 3/4 cups, and for the round bread I use a 1/2 cup. But if I make it by weight with my scale, For the long bread, I use 6 ounces, and for the round bread, I use 4 ounces. Then I just follow the way that I'm doing it here. Make sure that the meat is a little bigger than the bread, because while it cooks, the meat shrinks a little bit. And also make sure it's very thin so that the patties cook faster and better. I usually make a patty for each bread that I have, but you can also make the patties and freeze them. And once you want to make them another time, you just basically take it out of the freezer and start cooking it. But once we have everything ready, we're going to start cooking the meat. We're going to cook the meat in a preheated griddle, a pan, or even the grill. We are going to put the meat and we are not going to turn it. We will let it cook for at least 3 to 4 minutes. Usually you don't touch the meat, but because I'm basically making a little bit more space to put more meat, I try to move it around, but you usually just don't even touch it for the 3 or 4 minutes. There are several of us at home these days, so I took another pan to finish a little bit faster. But basically after the 3 to 4 minutes have passed, we will turn the patties, and with the help of another flat spoon, we will crush the meat so it does not shrink too much. And if you want the meat to be a little bit juicier, we're going to sprinkle it a little bit with Worcestershire sauce. You know what I mean. Here I have my first round of meat ready. Also, as I mentioned before, we are going to cook the cabbage. We will remove all the water, we will drain it, and we will check again to see if we have any large pieces, and if we do, we're going to remove them. We will put it in a pan and we let it soften for about 3 to 5 minutes, and we will constantly check them. We will do the same thing with the onions. We will drain them, and in a separate pan we will put some oil, and we will also cook it without the vinegar like the cabbage for about 3 to 5 minutes as well. Once the cabbage cooked for at least 3 minutes, we will add some of the shimi sauce. This will cause the cabbage to start absorbing the sauce, and it will give it a much delicious flavor. And every bite you take of the shimi will be extremely yummy. This step is fully optional, but it makes a big difference. We will toast the bread a little bit. I literally said a little bit, but I went a little bit overboard. But I promise you that this does not happen all the time to me. It's usually perfect. Okay, so now that we have everything that we need, we will start assembling the shimi. And we will do it like this. In each layer, we will add some sauce. To the bread, we will put sauce on both sides, the cabbage with a little bit of onions. And when you put the meat, you can see that the meat is the same size as the bread. On top of the meat, we will put some sauce, we put the tomatoes, then some sauce, and then we will put the 2 layers together. I wanted to make it very clear that traditional shimi does not have avocado, but I love avocado, and that's why I will add it. This is absolutely delicious and literally my mouth is watering. I just wanted to let you know that this looks like a lot of steps, but I promise you that the preparation goes very fast and the results are incredible. I really hope that you try this recipe. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and share it. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel and activate the bell to be notified every time I post a new video. Also follow me on my social media of Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat at Hazlo con Su. See you in the next video. Now you know how I do it. Bye.